Hello and welcome back to the Sports Sermon. I'm Dylan Saggy.
I'm Jason Gotti.
I'm Dan Majors.
And we are back today to discuss more NBA free agency signings. So let's get right into it. Taj Gibson, where we left off last, the next guy to be signed after our last podcast, went to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tom Thibodeau reuniting the Bulls, apparently, getting Taj Gibson on a 2-year, $28 million deal. Was he worth that for the Timberwolves, Dan?
Yes, he will get solid minutes and he will start most likely, and I think that is great value for a starter.
Yeah, I think it's a good fit because they still have $5 million in cap space where they can still get backups here and there, but Gibson really gives them a solid four, and now you let Gorgie Zhang play with that second unit, and now you got a pretty deadly lineup of Teague, Butler, Wiggins, Gibson, and Towns. And I mean, if you guys remember, it was only 4 or 5 years ago when Chicago was a contender with Gibson, Butler, Derrick Rose, obviously, and those people. I think now with Towns and Wiggins, I think that's better than they were then, and so now they're even more of a contender. Obviously, a harder conference, but think about if they were in the East, I think they'd contend against LeBron and the Cavs.
I don't think they'd beat LeBron and the Cavs.
They said contend though. I mean, they'd be the two. I think I like them better than the Celtics.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I'd put them at 3. But I don't think it's good value for $14 million. Taj Gibson, he seems more of like a $8 to $10 million guy for me. I mean, you look at the Thunder, which we'll talk about later, getting Patrick Patterson for about $5 million a year. I think Taj Gibson was a little bit overpaid. And Jason said fit with the Timberwolves, but I think stretch four would have made a lot more sense for them. Taj Gibson can't shoot the ball. Karl Anthony Towns can. Jimmy Butler and Andrew Wiggins are both good inside the arc, but where's the three-point shooting in that lineup?
I mean, Jimmy Butler can knock down the three just fine. Towns hits threes consistently, and I mean, Teague can't, but then Wiggins will be fine. Like, you're not going to have a sharp-shooting three-point team, but you're going to have guys that can still hit it from three.
I mean, I think you need that now these days, at least to compete with Golden State. You need some guys that can knock down the threes. I mean, that's what Cleveland had, and they're the only team that got anywhere close to competing with Golden State.
I don't know. I don't think their downfall is going to be the three-point line. If anything, I think there'll be much worse issues, I guess. I don't know, but I'm still surprised that you said in the $10 to $12 million range, because I think he is much better than a guy like Darren Collison who got $10 million or Zach Randolph who got $12. I'd take Taj Gibson over them.
But it depends on the teams, though. Like, Taj Gibson's going to a competing team with his former coach. I mean, it doesn't seem like $14 million to me. I mean, that's a situation that he would like to go to. It's not like he's going to the Kings or the Nets, a team that's going to overpay to have him on their team.
I mean, I don't think he's wanting to get underpaid. I mean, that's the market he's worth on any team, I think. I think he's worth $12 to $14 million on any team, and if Thibodeau's thinks that he's worth that $14 million, I think he's going to do it because he saw him play for how many years in Chicago. I mean, he knows Gibson better than most guys in the NBA, and so he really knows what Gibson can do, and if he really thinks he fits. I mean, he's a great defensive player that's going to really help that Minnesota team. He can be a mentor for Towns, for sure.
We'll see about that with the Timberwolves. Still going to be a good team either way. Let's move back to the East, though, and talk about 2 signings for the Toronto Raptors. They got Serge Ibaka back on a 3-year, $65 million deal, and Kyle Lowry on a 3-year, $100 million deal. That is some expensive contracts for Toronto. Is it worth dipping into the tax to pay for these 2 guys, though, Dan?
Yes, both of them are keys to their team, and they can compete much better in the Eastern Conference with these 2 guys. They're just a much better team with Lowry and Serge.
I don't know. I like the Kyle Lowry one. I think that was worth it. I mean, you've got to get him back on any cost. I don't care what you say about him in the playoffs. He's a top 7 point guard in the league, second best point guard, third best point guard in the East. I wouldn't worry about Lowry. Ibaka for $20 million, like we were just talking about, like what $20 million can get you. Gallinari's only $1.6 million higher. George Hill's cheaper. Iguodala's $16 million. I think Holiday, Drew Holiday signed for $25 million. Like Ibaka, if you guys remember, he was a baller in Oklahoma City, but he did nothing for the Magic, and he was okay. Yeah, he was better than Patrick Patterson and Was Amir Johnson there at the time? I don't know. But, yeah, he was better, but I don't know if he's worth $20 million. And now he's locked up for 3 years. He's already 27. That puts him on the wrong side of 30 because of his birthday when his contract's up. I don't know. I wouldn't give him that much money for 3 years.
Yeah, I don't think either of them are great value.
You have to do the Lowry one, though. I don't think it's a good guy, but you had to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I just don't love the spot where Toronto's in right now because those guys are going to get old by the time LeBron gets old. So they're really not setting themselves up for the future to compete when LeBron goes away because for those next 3 years, LeBron's going to win all 3 times. At least if he stays in the East, it doesn't go to the Lakers or something out West. But just not good value. I don't think dipping into the tax to pay for those 2 guys really makes a lot of sense for Toronto, who's not going to win a championship anyway.
See, I guess for me, maybe it's just that I'm tired of watching the Cavs. I really don't know if they're going to get out of the East again. Like, I think LeBron is going to slow down. I get that it's LeBron, but I don't think he's going to be. The Cavs will be that good this year. They keep doing the same thing. Other teams are making moves. I don't like the Celtics.
But Toronto didn't get any better.
I know, but I'm saying Boston. Like, I really do think Boston has a chance to overcome the Cavs now. I get that it's LeBron, and I get he's been a dominant player for 14 years in our league, but I'm not sure that he's going to happen again and again. If it's not this year, I think it's next year. I think he's going to slow down, and I don't know why we keep just pushing that off because he's, quote, LeBron. People thought Kobe would play forever. People thought Jordan would play forever. Everybody slows down eventually. It's not like LeBron's 26.
All right, we'll talk about that a lot more when we get to the Gordon Hayward signing later. But let's go back to the West. Patrick Patterson signed with the Oklahoma City Thunder, replacing Taj Gibson in a 3-year, $16.4 million deal. Do you like the replacement for Taj Gibson, Dan?
He's definitely not as good as Taj, but he can really fill a hole that was there when he left.
I think the only thing he does that's better than Taj is 3-point shooting, which is very nice to have. I think he gives you that stretch 4, but at the same time, I don't know when he's going to play. To be 100% honest, like, I think Paul George has got to suck it up and play the 4. But I guess this year he's not going to have to. But at some limits, he's going to have to play the 4. You got Terrence Ferguson, you've got Andre Roberson if he signs back. I don't know. I just mean they don't really have a need at the 4 and 5. They got Kanter, they've got Adam. I love Patrick Patterson. Like, I actually do love watching him play. I think he's a good little player. Like, I love watching him. I just don't know if he's the right fit in Oklahoma City. The money-wise, I didn't hate. I just thought the fit was interesting.
Yeah, I think he's a good replacement, though. I mean, he makes a lot of sense for the Thunder. They struggled shooting the 3-ball last year, and he gives them exactly what they need. Paul George replaces Kevin Durant's hole that he left on the wing, and I thought Patrick Patterson was a really good signing, especially for the value. 3 years, $16.4 million for Patrick Patterson. That is a really good deal, especially for 3 years. Patrick Patterson, I think, makes a lot of sense for the Thunder.
I guess my thing is, yes, it's a good replacement for Taj Gibson, but do they need a replacement for Taj Gibson? It's not like he came in and did what he did in Chicago. He averaged 2 more rebounds and 2 more points in Chicago, so he averaged like 9 and 5 in Oklahoma City.
And he's worth $14 million?
He averaged 11 and 8 in Chicago. That's worth $14 million to me. I'm saying it's not like the Thunder used a 4 that much. It's not like Gibson provided all this much for Oklahoma City. So I'm talking in Patrick Patterson terms. You've still got Kanter and Adams. I'm not sure you need another 4. Like, you've got enough big guys.
But Kanter and Adams aren't going to play the 4. Kanter and Adams play when the other ones.
At the end of the lineup, they're going to have to be 4 and 5. I think they're going to play the Twin Towers, similar to what the Lakers did in 2010, 2011 with Gasol and Bynum.
But, you can't just not put a 4 out there for most of the game.
I know, but I'm saying I don't know if Patterson was a necessary signing where you've already got guys like you can put Paul George at the 4 for part of the game. You can put Kanter at the 4 for part of the game. You have different players on that roster that can already stretch down to the 4. I would have spent, how much money was it? $6 million, is that what it was?
Yeah.
So I would have spent that on a backup point guard. I don't know who, but you need to get another guard so when Westbrook comes out, you're not minus 1,000 on your plus minus.
I think you can sign a point guard for the minimum easier than you can sign a backup stretch 4 that can really space the floor and give them a 4. They didn't have a 4 after Taj Gibson left. I think you can find a decent backup point guard on a minimum contract, especially now that the point guard market is just all dried up right now.
Yeah. All right. Who's next?
Justin Holiday signed with the Chicago Bulls on a 2-year, $9 million deal. Do you think he's really the point guard that they need for the future in Chicago? Dan, what do you think?
I mean, they've got a guy like Jerry Grant right
Oh
now.
my
But,
gosh! See,
uh,
no, don't listen to this. You from
no.
that sentence already. It's already biased. Listeners,
No.
be ready.
Listen. No, I would say Justin Holiday plays over him, no doubt. All right, but he will be good for them right now. I don't think Holiday is going to be great for them in the future, though. They're going to need somebody better in the future.
Yeah, I liked the 2-year deal. He was there and then got traded to New York. I like the fit for Justin. I don't know about the Bulls, like whatever. I don't think it's really that big of a deal. For Justin, it's a beautiful fit. He's going to get a lot of minutes. He's going to get to prove himself and then try and go get a $10+ million contract, which I know sounds weird now, but if he balls out 2 years from now, salary cap's still rising, he could get 10, 15 million in the offseason. I like his game for sure. I think he's looked good at where he's been so far. It's just a matter of giving him those minutes. I think Chicago's the perfect place for his career. For the fit in Chicago, yeah, they've got guys like Valentine, Grant, MCW's gone, but they've got Cannon still. Yeah, they've got guards, but I think Holiday's going to prove himself that he's going to have to be on the court at the end of the game at the 2-3 position.
Yeah, I think I agree. I like what you said about makes sense for Justin Holiday. Goes out and proves himself in 2 years and tries to get a big contract. But for the Bulls, I mean, I don't think it makes a ton of difference. Justin Holiday is not going to be a guy that's going to bring you to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But he's also not going to cost you a ton of wins being out there on the court.
I mean, the Bulls would get rid of Dwayne Wade, I think, first off.
Yeah.
That sucks for him. Like that would be terrible. You opt in like 2 or 3 days before, thinking you're going to try to go in the playoffs again, and then they trade Jimmy Butler. That's terrible for Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, I think a buyout makes sense for
sure.
both sides. But if I'm the Bulls, I just bring out the big tank, let Chris Dunn play pretty much the whole game, and let him figure out the NBA on his own. Kind of just put him out there, let him figure it out, and give the Bulls a lot or not a lot of wins and try to get a high pick next year.
I mean, one last thing on the Bulls. The sad part is this roster might contend for the 8th seed. Like, that East is terrible. They might contend. Same thing with the Pacers. Like, they have a good chance to contend even though they're trying to tank. So many teams are trying to tank right now in that East.
Yeah. We'll talk about the Pacers a little more when we get to the Darren Collison signing later. But let's go into the Ben McLemore signing. He signed with the Memphis Grizzlies on a 2-year, $10.7 million deal. Is this a big deal for the Grizzlies? Did they get better or worse with signing him and getting rid of Zach Randolph?
Well, I don't think they expected JaMychal Green to leave, but now that's kind of like what's been going through like the works, I guess. But I thought it was a good decision for the Grizzlies. I'm higher on McLemore than others. I think if he gets in the right system, I really want to come to LA on a 1-year deal, prove himself, and then go make money. But I like his game. I think he can show us some things if he gets enough playing time. So really, I guess for the Grizzlies, I don't know if it's anything monumental. You still got JaMychal Green. You just drafted Ivan, Rab. I don't know. I just think it wasn't anything earth-shattering for the team again, but I love the fit for McLemore. I think that's kind of like the big story of this free agency is I'm not sure how it's going to work with the team, but at least for the players individually, it makes sense.
Yeah, I like McLemore over getting Zebo, like you mentioned earlier, Staggy. He's just younger, and he's, that's $5 million a year instead of 14 or so, or 12, I don't know. Definitely like McLemore over Zebo.
I wouldn't, I don't know. I think they're about even. It doesn't really make the Grizzlies better or worse, but the West got a lot better, so I think the Grizzlies are kind of out of the playoff picture now. And a move that kind of rumors surfaced was Marc Gasol being a trade target for the Celtics. And honestly, if the Grizzlies don't think they can make the playoffs anymore with this team, I think what would make sense is doing a swap with the Celtics, Marc Gasol for Al Horford, and Memphis gets the either Lakers pick 2 to 5 this year or the Kings pick in 2019.
When did this come out? I did not hear this.
Mark, earlier today it said Marc Gasol is a trade target for the Celtics. I don't think Memphis is going to by any means, but I think it would make sense if they could get a pick or two from the Celtics.
I think it makes sense.
If they don't think they can make the playoffs with this squad anymore.
I don't think Horford's that much worse than Gasol.
I know that.
Yeah, that's if I'm the Celtics, I'm like, you're an idiot. But if I'm the Grizzlies, I'm like, deal. Like if I'm on 2K, I'm pushing accept so hard.
No, if I'm the Celtics, I'd accept that too. I mean, Marc Gasol is a considerable amount better than Horford.
Defensively, but not offensively, and they need offense. They've got enough defensive players.
They got enough defense. They have Isaiah Thomas out there. He can't guard
They've
anybody.
got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Gordon Hayward, and Jay Crowder, and Marcus Smart, and Avery Bradley. All guys that should and would get votes in the all-defensive this year. Like Bradley, Smart.
And Isaiah Thomas got a vote.
That was
Come
dumb.
on.
Yeah,
Don't get me
that's
started on that. I'm telling their defense is more than okay. They need offense and scoring. And I don't know, I wouldn't do that if I'm the Celtics because Horford provides, and he's getting in a groove finally. He started to feel himself a little bit in that series against Cleveland.
I don't know. Personally, I think that Marcus Gasol would be a solid upgrade over Al Horford. But let's move into Zach Randolph. He moved to the Kings along with George Hill. Zach Randolph went on a 2-year, $24 million deal, and George Hill went on a 3-year, $57 million deal with a third year partially guaranteed. So how much did these two really help the Kings organization? Did it make them a lot better in terms of contending and locker room presence, Dan?
Well, first of all, good for them getting as much money as they can, really. And they won't do great. Obviously, they're the Kings. They're still a very sorry organization, but sorry, Kings fans. But yeah, they're not going to do much better this year.
I like what the Kings are building in Sacramento. That's something I never thought I would say because, I don't know, I just don't think that if you look back 2-3 years ago, Sacramento really was building anything. But now I like Buddy Hield. I like De'Aaron Fox. I like Giles at the 20th pick. I know we kind of already talked about it. I like Justin Jackson. Now you put a good defensive, good mentor in George Hill, someone I wanted to go to the Lakers too, and Zebo who can mentor those bigs. I really like what's going on in Sacramento. Not for wins, losses necessarily, but just for development of players.
Yeah, I think Sacramento might have won the offseason quietly.
I think the Celtics won. I think that's just a...
Yeah, I mean, in terms of rebuilding teams, I think Sacramento may have had the best offseason, really putting themselves in a position after some previously really bad trades and some bad contracts there. I think Zach Randolph makes a lot of sense. George Hill, two guys that can come in and mentor. Not the most expensive contracts either, and by the time those guys are gone, the Kings' young guys will be ready to come in, get paid, and be ready to contribute and contend.
The only sign I didn't understand for the Kings was the Bogdanovich.
Oh, yeah, $12 million
It was 8.5 a year. 8.5 a year.
8.5?
Yeah, but I mean, either way.
I heard it was 12.
No, I mean, either way, it's just, I don't love it. It was a 3-year, 27 or 26 point something. But yeah,
for a European guy,
it's just, like, it didn't make sense. I was like, there's no need. But in general, I agree. Of the non-contending team, I think the Kings won the offseason.
All right, let's move back to the Eastern Conference and talk about Dion Waiters. Can we
stop talking all these guys? Let's go to the Lakers, and they just don't come, and now we're still sitting in mediocrity and still are going to suck, guys. It sucks.
All right, enough about Jason's Lakers. The Heat got a decent deal getting Dion Waiters back. 4 years, $52 million. Dan, did you like the signing?
I like it. I mean, it's Dion Waiters. I think he was a huge key to them in their run last year. Some people are saying he's a little overpaid, but I think it's just right. He was big last year for them.
Yeah, I mean, for him, it makes sense. I don't know. I don't like it for the Heat, though. Like, I wouldn't say Dion Waiters is going to be who they're building around. They're still building around Whiteside and Adebayo.
I mean, $13 million a year isn't somebody that you build around.
I know, but it's for 4 years, though. I don't know. Like, it's similar to Jordan Clarkson when he got in L.A. I can't remember any other 4-year, like, $50 million deals off the top of my head, but it's just, like, I feel like that's for a solid starter on your team. I don't know if Waiters is going to be that in 2-3 years. I think, in my opinion, I think Waiters had a hot year, and he might have 1 or 2 left in him. I'm not sure it's coming in these next 3-4. I don't know. For the Heat, I don't know what I would have done for the Heat. They're kind of in a weird spot because I think they're going to make the playoffs no matter what they do because they've got enough pieces in Whiteside and Dragic.
The East is just
awesome. And so I think they're going to make the playoffs regardless. And so I guess you try to win as many. I don't know. I think it was fine. I didn't really love it either way. I was more just sad that the Lakers kept losing guys that they were supposed to get rumored to have.
I thought it made sense for both sides, actually. Dion Waiters has a breakout year and gets signed long-term, gets that money no matter what he does the next few years. And I think the Heat really making a investment that I think will at least pay off for these next couple years. I mean, Dion Waiters always supposed to have a breakout year, always supposed to get better as he was the 4th pick in the draft finally got it this year and had a lot of chemistry. Just played great with the Heat, so I think it makes sense for both sides.
I like it.
All right, let's move into two signings for the defending champions, the Warriors. They grabbed Nick Young for the $5.2 million mid-level exception and Omri Caspi for the minimum. How much of an impact will these guys have on the Warriors, Dan?
I like them. I mean, they're obviously not going to do much, but they'll definitely fill some minutes off the bench, and they're really just there along for the ride. Golden State's still going to win a title with them there or without them.
I love them. I love both signings. I love Swaggy P. I retweeted a tweet if you follow me on Twitter of the if you had told me 3-4 years ago that J.R. Smith and Nick Young would have been battling and Nick Young and JaVale McGee are all in the finals, I just think it's crazy. I love watching Swaggy P. I love JaVale McGee. Love J.R. Smith. All those guys are just weird people but have a fun time playing. It's all coming together and the finals are going to be so fun. I love that signing of Swaggy P. Omri Caspi is a great 3-and-D guy. I was watching Summer League tonight, and they said that they thought Caspi might be the best value signing in the league this year. And I was like, okay, that's a little far, but I like the signing. But yeah, I think the Warriors, they just got to make sure to get a center, and they are cooking.
Yeah, Swaggy Pete makes a lot of sense for the Warriors. I hope that just everyone gets hurt so that JaVale McGee, Swaggy P, and J.R. Smith are just the stars in the finals next year.
Fun.
Just watching the Shaq Fool finals instead of the NBA finals.
So many forced threes, so many missed dunks. Oh, what a time.
Both of them great value for the Warriors. Helps their bench even more. And they might be better than they were last year. But let's move into another signing in the Western Conference. Danilo Gallinari to my Los Angeles Clippers. 3-year, $65 million deal. The Clippers actually had to get rid of a few pieces to make this happen.
Dylan, tell us what you think. Well, it's your team.
Let me finish. Jamal Crawford had to go to the Hawks along with Diamond Stone and the first-round pick to make this happen, though. So a few losses for the Clippers. Jamal Crawford, a great guy, but a streaky shooter. Obviously, Danilo Gallinari is an upgrade over him. I like the move, but I do think that 3 years, $65 million is a bit much for Danilo Gallinari, who's aging a little bit and might have to play some more power forward minutes with his age. Not going to fit well with Blake Griffin, but they had to do it. A three that they've been missing for a while. But will he make a big difference? Yes, I think so. The Clippers have been missing a small forward for a while, but will they make it any farther in the playoffs? No. 6 to 8 seed for the Clippers next year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if they would have got this with Chris Paul, they're up there. But now they lost Chris Paul. It just kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, just don't have the money for that.
Yeah, I just think it kind of sucks for the Clippers, though, now, because, you're going to still make the playoffs because you're good enough, but now you don't really have a direction to go in. Now you're just kind of sitting in mediocrity of the 4, 5, 6 seed.
I mean,
if I'm the Lakers, I'm taking it. But, for a team that was contending, but now doesn't have any young pieces to build by you contend, it's not like you're a Timberwolves while you're developing Towns, Wiggins, and Patton while you're in the playoffs. It's you've got Bryce Johnson and Jawan Evans to mentor as you're contending. I don't know. It's just a weird place of mediocrity.
The problem is for the Clippers, though, all the first-round picks that have been traded in the last few years. I mean, if they tank, they just have a bunch of them piling up on the protection list and just going to have a big payout in the future once they do get good. So with all those first-round picks gone, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense for the Clippers to tank.
It doesn't make sense, but I don't know. It just kind of sucks that you have to keep waiting in this 4, 5, 6. As a fan, I guess it'd be painful to sit in the same thing you've been doing for 4 years, and then Chris Paul goes oh, we're going to go back, we're going to suck, we're going to get better. But now it's oh, you're still going to be a 4, 5, 6, and you're still going to not get past the second round. And you're still going to be watching the finals on the floor.
I mean, I think
nobody remembers if you're a 6-3 seed.
Yeah, in 2020, guys, the Clippers were a 6 seed 4 years in a row. Let's go.
Be tanking.
It just doesn't make sense to tank though. All the first round picks are gone. What would you tank for? I think but it still gives them.
Then why sign Griffin to such a long deal?
But with Griffin, I think obviously if he's good in 2 or 3 years. I mean, does it give them a chance to bring in a couple other guys, maybe in free agency, and
Why
try to
would you wanna
compete
go
once
there?
the Warriors are done.
But why would you want to go there? Because you can go there to the Lakers, and you have the same city, and now you've got like that's the same thing as when you talk. If you go on any sports show, they always ask when there was a free agent, "Would you go to the Lakers or Clippers?" And everyone says the Lakers. Why would you go to the Clippers?
Okay, people are gonna go to the Clippers if they give them money.
I'm saying stars. Why would stars want to go there?
Okay, what if the Lakers sign LeBron and Paul George next year and they don't have any money to give anybody else?
Yeah.
And someone just wants to go to LA. I can see what you're saying there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
But
like the
you're not
Clippers
gonna
are going to
get-
get nobody.
But
Like,
what
they
I'm
just
saying
got
is-
Danilo Gallinari. Why did he go to the Lakers?
Okay, but that's still mediocrity. That's my point. You're not going to get any stars. I wouldn't call Gallinari stars. You're going to stay in the 4, 5, 6 seed for a long time. You're staying in this state of just better than average, but we're not too good. You're in this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seed range, and you're not going to change for a long time. And all I'm saying is, as a fan, it just would be hard to watch the same thing over and over again with just new guys.
I
There's
think
no difference.
I think it's a decent split in the middle between not tanking because you don't have your first round picks and not contending because the Warriors are there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to another signing in the Western Conference. Paul Millsap signed with the Nuggets, 3-year, $90 million deal. Do you think this makes a big difference for Denver, Dan?
Yeah, he's big for them. Can really help Jokic down low, and I think he can get them over top at some point in the short time he is here, or long time maybe.
I love the Millsap signing. A guy that I follow named Anthony Irwin on Twitter, he said that he thinks this is gonna make the best front court that nobody really talks about, but it's gonna be like low key so good.
Yeah.
And I agree with it. I think they're gonna be a fun team to watch. You got Gary Harris and Wilson Chandler spotting up. If Moutier or Murray can start running the offense, I like the Nuggets. I think they're a definite playoff team. I love Jokic. I think Millsap fits beautifully with Jokic. I'm just excited for NBA season. Like, I'm ready to buy League Pass. I haven't bought it before. I'm ready. I love this NBA season. And Millsap's just another part of how much fun the NBA is going to be. Because there's so many good teams because of the Warriors. You have to go there now.
Yeah, a great front court for the Nuggets now with Millsap and Jokic. A lot of young guards, though, that may not be ready to compete these next few years, but something they can build around. And Murray, Moutier, Gary Harris, I like the signing for the Nuggets. A little much maybe for Millsap as he gets older, but definitely worth it for these next couple of years.
I think the 3 years are good. It's not good. At 4 years, I agree would have been too much. I like the 3-year deal.
Let's go into the biggest signing of this offseason, though. Gordon Hayward signed with the Boston Celtics on a 4-year, $128 million deal, moving over with his old Butler coach and Brad Stevens, reuniting in Boston as they try to take down the Cavs. What is worth giving up for Gordon Hayward, though, because the Celtics currently don't have enough money to give him? Dan, what do you think?
Wait, are we talking about like how much money to give them?
What players they need to?
No, they agree
Oh,
on a
right, right.
4-year, 128. It's just a
Yeah,
matter
I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give up like Crowder or Smart, I think. I mean, they're kind of big for their lineup, but I don't think they'll make a key difference this year.
Yeah, I think Bradley's definitely got to keep. Like, you didn't mention him. I
Right.
think he's got to stay. I think it's Smart. Like, skill-wise, it's Smart. Fit-wise, it's Crowder. You've got 4 small forwards with Crowder. I love Tatum. He's NBA ready. Like, if you weren't going to play him, I would have got Josh Jackson, let him sit this year, get 5-10 minutes, and then let Crowder, Hayward, whoever play. But Tatum's ready to play this year, so I feel like you've got to get rid of Crowder fit-wise because there's too many threes in that locker room. But the worst player of the 3 is Smart, and I think you can get value for him. I think because they're already going to give up so much, I think they've got to get rid of Crowder and get some picks, I guess. I mean, I guess they don't have enough of those. I don't really know, but I don't know what they get back. I guess second-round picks just to get rid of cap space.
A
but
2 maybe to back up Avery Bradley?
I mean, but who's going to give them? Isn't it a sign and trade? Are we talking about sign and trade with Hayward, or are we talking about?
I don't know, just anything to get rid of those.
I think if you do
Contracts.
sign and trade with Hayward, you're going to get a pick back. But if you're going to do like with a different team, then yeah, I look at a backup guard that can go behind Thomas and Bradley, because now Demetrius Jackson's gone. And for some reason, Danny Ainge loves Terry Rozier, so that's their backup point guard. And then they just need a shooting guard too. I think backup 2 is where they look if they try to get rid of one of them.
Yeah, I think you already got rid of Kelly Olynyk, Tyler Zeller. So, like Jason said, fit-wise, Jay Crowder, unless he's willing to go and play the 4 now that Kelly Olynyk's gone, he could maybe do a little bit of that for the Celtics. But otherwise, if he plans on staying at the 3, it just does not make sense with Hayward, Brown, Tatum, and Crowder. So we'll have to see what the Celtics do with getting rid of some guys to free up space for Hayward. But let's talk about the playoffs next season. Obviously, the Celtics and the Cavs going to be the 2 teams that are competing for the Eastern Conference. With the Hayward signing, did that make it enough to get over the Cavs, Dan?
Okay, I say no, and Jason's not going to like this reasoning, but
Good God.
LeBron, dude. I mean, it's
my
just LeBron.
God.
Okay, listen. You say he's aging.
He's 32.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, but I think his body will withstand longer than what other stars like Michael and Kobe did.
Okay, I agree.
So I think he will play just
So
as
in
well
his
as
age
last
33
year.
season, you don't think that he's just going to drop off? Like,
I didn't say drop off. I said decline. There's a difference between drop off and decline. Kobe dropped off. Jordan declined. Jordan didn't go from 28 points to 5 points or whatever.
I mean, kind of. I mean, he won
He didn't.
in 98. He won his last finals, and then by 2000, he was with the Warriors and
Wizards.
Wizards, not Warriors.
That's
Wizards.
the team this year we work on. But I think LeBron is going to decline. I feel like we talk about this every year. When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? He's playing so many minutes. These finals, I think, were more exhausting than people realize. Watch his body language. Every single game, he'd come to the press conference and the podium looking dead. He looked like he gave 130%, and he did give 130% in every single game. I get it's only 7 games, but now with not the East getting better, the Celtics getting better, the Raptors being in contention, the Wizards being in contention, he's going to have to play harder. The Celtics aren't going to only lose in 1 game in the semifinals again. They're going to give him a fight, which means he's going to have to actually try, I guess. I mean, last year in the Eastern Conference, he did not have to try. But I just feel like LeBron, he's not going to drop from a 38-9 guy to a 5-5-5. I just mean, he might go, under 20 points, maybe in that 20-20. I don't know.
Under 20 points for LeBron next year?
I don't know why it's that big of a deal to say he might not be as good as he was when he was
Under 20 points, though?
I could see it anywhere from 18 to 25. I don't know why. I don't know. I have some kind of sense. I know that it's LeBron, so it sounds like it's blasphemy to say that he's going to play bad. And maybe I am crazy, but there's some feeling inside of me that I had the same thing with Kobe, that I just said, one of these years it's going to happen.
Okay.
And it happened. And I think it's going to happen to LeBron. I get that he's got a great body, and he can play football in the NFL and all of that. I get it. He's 32.
That didn't happen to Kobe when he was 32.
Yeah, when he was 33.
Okay, but he declined after he got hurt, right?
Who?
Kobe.
After his Achilles injury.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you
Where was
saying
LeBron's
that LeBron
injury?
will have an injury
It
next year?
doesn't have to be an injury for someone to decline. An injury is not the only reason someone declines. Age catches up to you.
Not when you're 33, though, and you're LeBron James. I think the Celtics get 6 games, or the Cavs get it in 6 games. The Celtics give them 6 games next year. But for me, I just don't think that's enough to get over the Cavs. I mean, LeBron's just that much better than Gordon Hayward, Kyrie, and Isaiah Thomas. Or I give it to Kyrie, and then Love or Horford, probably about even.
I mean, I don't have any other reason. I don't have stats to back up. Well, at age 32, 0.3%. It's just a feeling that I have that I'm tired of saying LeBron's LeBron and that's why he's so good. I said it in the finals last year. I was like, the Warriors might sweep them because you cannot just have one player in the NBA anymore. Dan, you say it all the time. Dirk will be the last player to win a finals by himself. LeBron cannot beat teams consistently by himself. He needs help, and Kyrie and Love are not enough help. Will they beat the Celtics? Possibly. I mean, long term, I don't see LeBron winning another ship if he stays in Cleveland.
So will the
So
Cavs
we'll-
beat
yeah.
the Celtics next year?
I think it goes to 7. I don't
And
probably.
never bet on LeBron.
I think the Cavs still do pull it out. But I guess what I'm saying is, yes, the Cavs get to the finals, but it's not going to be in the dominating fashion that it was this year. I don't think they sweep until the Celtics either. I think they lose a game or two in the final and the way to the Celtics.
Okay, say LeBron plays just as well as he did this past year. Doesn't decline.
Okay.
What is
I
the
agree with
series?
Donnie. It's 6 instead of 5.
All right. So,
yeah.
What do you think the Celtics need to get over the hump then of LeBron James in the Eastern Conference Finals? Is there anything that they can do
Not that
next
they can
season?
realistically do it. I think they need a better 2. I think a 2 gives you flexibility so you can put him on Kyrie and like Isaiah Thomas, like kind of what they did with Steph, even though Steph's a much better defender than IT. But let IT guard J.R. Smith, give J.R. Smith his shot. But you need someone that can like I know Avery Bradley's a baller on defense, but someone that backs him up. That's not Marcus Smart. I don't know who it is. Like I wish I could tell you, oh, it's this guy, but I feel like they need more guard defense.
Demetrius Jackson.
Stop.
Well, you know,
Demetrius Jackson played great in the D League. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
the D League is
That's
not
even a
the
thing
Eastern
anymore. After the
Conference
G
side.
League. It's the
G League. Sorry.
Dylan, what?
Well, you know, a move that would make a lot of sense for the Celtics actually is getting Paul George. Oh wait, he is on the Thunder.
Hey, we have picks. Okay, no, they have picks. Hey,
But if they get another star like George, I think they can definitely.
see, I don't think George fits. Why would George fit? He doesn't
He
play the
could-
4.
he could
Where's he
play
gonna
the
play?
2. He played the 2 earlier in his career,
When?
Yeah, I think he played.
like his first couple
How
years.
tall is he? 6'8", 6'9"? That's tall too.
I know.
I mean, that's crazy.
Lonzo's
Yeah,
6'6"
no, yeah,
and
that's
tall
crazy.
point guard.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy to think about. Because I mean, like the Warriors are such a small lineup, and then you put Paul George at 2. If you had Paul George there, IT, Paul George, Hayward,
Horford and
who's your 4?
Crowder maybe if he slides down.
Can't afford Crowder.
I don't know.
Crowder's gone. Crowder, Bradley, and Smart are probably all gone to make this happen. That's what I'm saying. But then you have a gap somewhere still. I don't know if George fits.
Well,
I think Klay Thompson would be that. And in an ideal world, I think Klay Thompson's the greatest fit for the Celtics. You give him IT, Klay Thompson, Gordon Hayward, then you're cooking. I think.
yeah.
could
Well,
happen down the line.
I mean like a type. A dominating 2. I think is what they need, in my opinion.
Well, now with Paul George and Jimmy Butler off the market, it seems unlikely that the Celtics will be able to acquire another superstar, and it looks like they'll be stuck with pretty much this roster to go against the Cavs next season. But do you agree with Gordon Hayward's decision to move from Utah to Boston, Dan?
I mean, as you go win more, obviously with the Celtics, you're in a terrible Eastern Conference, but you're leaving a Jazz team that's. I mean, they're just as good, honestly, as the Celtics. I mean, they're not as good, but they're. If you put them in the East, they're a 3 seed probably.
3 or 4. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it really matters. Like, it wasn't some KD signing like out of nowhere. I mean, it was rumored for a while that he was going to go to the Celtics. Reuniting with his old coach, I think it makes sense for Hayward. The Celtics are a better team. He only has to get past LeBron now instead of the entire West. Like, he's LeBron injury away from being in the finals.
That's true.
I think it's a decent move for Gordon Hayward. One that'll help his career, at least long term.
I don't know. I think I've been spoiled being a Kobe fan and liking someone staying for a star like that, being in your franchise forever. Gordon Hayward's the last player to be from the Jerry Sloan era. I mean, Hayward was kind of the guy in Utah. Like, they don't have much to get excited about. Like, it's not like they have a solid, great football team or anything. Like, Utah Jazz are kind of the thing in Utah. And, like, he put in his, if you guys read the Thank You Utah thing he wrote for the Players Tribune, like, he said, like, he grew up there. Like, I don't know. I think that's part of me just being spoiled that, like, having Kobe stay somewhere for 20 years and, like, my whole life. Yeah, for you, Derek. My whole life was idolizing Kobe. And so, like, for the kids, I guess, in the Utah area, and just, like, I guess me, because, like, I'm from Indiana watching Hayward. Like, I loved watching him play in Utah. I guess from a fan, I wish he would have stayed in Utah. But for him, it makes sense. It's a match made in heaven with Steven. I think I like that loyalty of having the same guy stay in your franchise for 20 years like I saw with Kobe. That was the coolest thing for me.
You say that, but weren't mad about KD leaving Oklahoma City to go to Golden State, though?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just mean with Hayward because he's a guy. Like, Oklahoma City still has Russell Westbrook. I mean, Hayward was the guy. And like LeBron in Cleveland was the guy. Like the thing where you're the only star and you built this team up by yourself from nothing, something. It's I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think that's where
I mean,
I
that's what
contradict
KD did
myself
with
with
the.
Durant. He had Westbrook. I agree. It doesn't really make sense in my mind, but I guess just like with Hayward, something about him gives me the whole like, he could have been a star. That could have been the face of Utah.
But it's not like you're mad at him for.
No, not mad at all.
Like,
I'm not calling him a cupcake.
Exactly.
Oh, what a cupcake! What a snake! Like, no, it makes sense for him. I just like from myself. I kind of wish we would have stayed. It would have been cool.
Yeah, I mean the problem is I don't think Utah's really going anywhere like the Celtics are. But let's move on to Otto Porter, who signed a 4-year, $106 million max contract with the Brooklyn Nets. The Wizards still have an opportunity to match it, have not made a decision yet, although it looks like, from what we've been hearing from the Wizards, that they most likely will. But if he does end up staying with the Nets, Dan, is it worth it to pay that much for him?
I love it, honestly. I mean, you're not going to get any other free agents soon, and now you finally have another player like D'Angelo Russell that is young and has potential.
I mean, I like the Otto Porter fit. It lets Rondae Hollis-Jefferson be a backup, and it gives D'Lo someone to play with. If the Nets can get him, it's a beautiful fit, I think. But from the Wizards side, I wouldn't pay him the max.
No.
I love him, but they're going to because they have to. It's the same thing as the Kyle Lowry thing where I wouldn't, but you're going to have to.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I think the problem with the Wizards is they gave out a contract that was nearly as bad as Timofey Mozgov's last summer that no one's talking about. Ian Mahinmi, a 4-year, $64 million deal, and he did nothing for the Wizards last year, and now that's really costing them. They might have to go into the tax to pay Otto Porter now.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they'll be fine. They're one of 3 teams that have never paid the luxury tax before, I saw today. That them, the Pelicans, and someone else are one of 3 teams that have never paid the luxury tax. But I think from the Wizards' perspective, you have to do it, even though you don't want to do it. From the Nets' perspective, keep doing it. I read an article today that was like, teams are getting mad at the Nets for just throwing huge contracts at these guys because now they have to sign them, now they have to take it on. And, like, the Nets are so smart.
Yeah.
Like, they're low-key so smart, just throwing this bunch of money at them.
I don't think anybody said that in a while.
Yeah, like, and I like what the Nets are building. Once again, maybe it's a little bit of a hard pick. I love D'Lo playing there. I think Otto Porter there's a great fit. Jared Allen can develop. I don't know. If I'm Otto Porter, I'm happy with either situation, I guess.
Yeah, I think for the Nets side, it really makes sense. Otto Porter, a young guy who can play and develop with D'Angelo Russell. The max obviously isn't the same as a guy that's been in the league for 10 years and you're paying him 30, 40 million. Only about 25 million a year for Otto Porter. And for him, I think it makes sense to sign with Brooklyn. You can be the guy, at least along with D'Angelo Russell, put up big numbers and have fun in Brooklyn and try to build something. But if you're the Wizards, if you're him going back to the Wizards, I don't think you're mad at either. You get to play with a contender who can be a 3 or 4.
Yeah, either way, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
You either get to be the face or the second face. Or
second face. Oh.
yeah, D'Lo has more of a personality than Otto
Yeah,
Porter.
No one's personality, but
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he would be the
there's-
face.
Yeah, D'Lo is the face of Brooklyn.
right now,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If Otto Porter went, he would still be the face. That's all I'm saying. It's like if I'm Otto Porter, I'm not mad at either one. I don't think it's a bad decision to go to the Nets. I think he's happy, and that's why he signed it because he is okay with that situation. I think he'd have a good time with D'Lo. It's a good fit.
but do you guys think it would be a waste in Brooklyn or?
No, I'm telling you, Brooklyn's not going to be that bad. Yeah, they'll be the worst team probably this year. Second worst. Magic will be worst. After the Magic, they're going to be pretty bad. But I'm saying in a few years, I like the development of D'Lo, Otto Porter, and Jared Allen. And Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. He's low-key been good. Like, they've got places to build. They're not going to be a Timberwolves-type rebuild, but they'll be fine. Like, they'll be like the Jazz, where if you can get a few pieces to click together here and there, 4 or 5 years, you're back in playoffs. Like, I don't think the Jazz not the Jazz. The Nets are that depleted anymore.
All right, let's talk about the Indiana Pacers now. For our last signing, Darren Collison went to the Pacers on a 2-year, $20 million contract. Is this enough to put the Pacers in the playoffs, Dan?
I mean, this
It's
doesn't.
the East.
That's true, but I mean, I think that they either were already in the playoffs or they weren't already in the playoffs. I don't think Darren Collison put them over the hump. You know what I mean?
It might have. I mean, they really didn't have a point guard before that.
That's true.
Lance Love?
I love Lance. That would be an incredible tank job by the Pacers, putting on some great entertainment with Lance at the 1 while still tanking. It'd be awesome.
I don't know. I don't think Collison's a boom or bust prospect signing. I think it's a good, solid signing. Puts him in the playoffs, and that's kind of that. It kind of sucks for the Pacers because now you can't tank, but I mean, it's cool. Gets you in the playoffs, and now you can get fans to come to games, even though they won't be happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're really in the line for the 8 or 9 seed now in the East. It doesn't make a lot of sense for the Pacers in that, but are they really going to out-tank the Magic, the Nets, the Knicks, the Pistons, the Bulls next year?
I think Bulls and Pacers might make the playoffs. Like, who do the East have? Like, literally, it's 4 or 5 teams. The Bucks in the top 4.
Let's see. The Celtics.
The Heat. I'll give you the Heat.
The Celtics, Cavs, Raptors, Wizards,
and then
Bucks,
and then Heat and Hornets.
Hornets, Heat. So that's 7 teams?
Yeah, and I don't think the Heat are guaranteed. I think Heat maybe.
I think the Heat will make
Heat played better than they should have.
Make the playoffs.
They played better than they should have.
But they played way worse than they should have in the first half, though.
I think Pacers and Bulls are fighting for that 8 seed.
Yeah, it'll be a close race down there in the 8 for the opportunity to get swept by LeBron. But let's talk about the Pacers' potential lineup for next year.
Are we not going to talk about the Heat gets swept by LeBron? Okay, wait, I forget. You forgot. You agree with LeBron.
What?
Then.
You don't think the Pacers would get swept by LeBron?
You say it doesn't matter what team's going to be in the playoffs and get swept by LeBron?
Until
in the 8 seed, not Celtics.
Okay, that's why I was like, you're what? Okay,
no,
sorry.
I'm talking about the 8 seed. The Pacers and the Bulls would get
Okay,
swept.
sorry. I was very confused there.
Okay, so the potential lineup for the Pacers next season, and we already kind of talked about what to expect. Dan, what's your lineup for the Pacers next year?
Well, I've got Collison at the 1,
Mm-hmm.
Oladipo at the 2,
Mm-hmm.
Stevenson at the 3,
Whoa.
Thad Young at the 4, and Turner at the 5.
I agree with all that except for I put Glenn Robinson the 3rd of the 3. Have Lance come off the bench with Joe Young in that 1-2 combo. Joe Young's looked good in Summer League, so I think then your bench lineup looks something like Joe Young, Lance Stevenson, TJ Leaf, and then whoever your bigs are. I don't know the Pacers lineup.
Jefferson.
Yeah, Sabonis and Jefferson. That's a beautiful backup lineup. I mean, that's a young, good team there. So, I like that for the Pacers.
Yeah, I have Jason's lineup too. Collison, Oladipo, Glenn Robinson III, Thaddeus Young, and Miles Turner. I think the Pacers, before the offseason ends, might end up swapping Thad Young for a first-round pick, though, because if they are trying to at least tank a little bit, you kind of got to get rid of him. I love Thad Young as a Pacers fan, but I think you got to get rid of him to try to get younger.
I don't know. Like I said, I think even with or without that, you're a playoff team. Why not go for it and get some fans?
I mean, but you get more minutes for TJ Leaf and Sabonis then.
Sabonis is not the future. I don't like him.
But, I mean, it's better than wasting it with a 29-year-old power forward that's probably not going to be on the team for more than 2 more years.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for all the free agent signings as of now. Jason, what's coming up on the sports sermon?
So we're going to post a Orlando, Utah Summer League wrap-up on Friday, so make sure you'll listen to that. And then Las Vegas Summer League is getting started, so my Lakers, I'm finally getting to see Lonzo in action. Markelle, you're going to get to see him in action again. Other guys like Josh Jackson, Jason Tatum, all those guys you want to see, they'll be playing on NBA TV, ESPN2. Great stuff in the NBA. If you guys have requests of what you want to see, let us know. I mean, we'd love to do it. It's just a matter of we don't know what you guys want. And from what we've seen, NBA is the stuff that you guys seem to like. So we're going to keep doing that.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Make sure if you enjoyed this, hit a like. And if you want to see the rest of our Summer League content and the rest of our NBA content coming out this summer, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to get alerted every time we post a new video or a new article on our website, follow us on Twitter. The link is in the description. So thank you guys for listening, and we will see you tomorrow.